So question 4 requires students to look just at the end of your short fiction passage, and they give you a dual focus statement to respond to. In this case, this part of the story where Alice decides to continue digging for the object is very mysterious and suggests her discovery may be life-changing. To what extent do you agree? And it's asking you to evaluate. Like I've said, this is like on a judging program, for example. You need to consider why Alice decides to continue digging, which will help you weigh up whether that, is it mysterious, the object, because she obviously feels very determined. Evaluate how the writer creates a sense of mystery. That's where they want you to comment on craft, the writer's methods. And that could be form, structure, or language. Any technique that you think helps to create mystery. And you've got a quote, or at least refer closely. That could also be referring to line endings. So I went back to this section of the text, which begins down here, line 21, and goes to the end. Okay, and I've picked out some bits of pink. Some of them are already highlighted in blue, that I think are important to the mystery, or that what she finds will be life-changing. Okay, so we begin here. Alice is tempted to go down to join her friends and colleagues. Her calves are already aching. The muscles in her shoulders are tense. But she knows that if she stops now, she'll lose her momentum. She's really, really determined. There's a sort of sense of possibly that she's fated to find it and that she can't choose not to anymore. Hopefully, her luck's about to change. Well, that's suggesting that she's quite optimistic about what she'll find. And we have this word glinting. Something glinting beneath a large boulder, propped against the side of the mountain, neat and tidy, almost as if it had been placed there by a giant hand. Interesting. Now the writer is clearly using imagery there to suggest some kind of godlike intent or being that I know why that says that, but behind the placing of this artifact, which links into the theme of mystery, doesn't it? Because you're like, who would leave it there? And I mean, is it aliens? Is it that it was left there for her? Again, that idea that it's fated, like she can't avoid finding it. Some of the key words are going to be like neat and tidy, propped, and glinting. Although she can't make out what the object is or how big it is, she's been digging all morning and doesn't think it'll be much longer. Well, we've got an increase in tension there because she's really close to finding it, but also she doesn't know how big it is and can't see what it is. Well, that's definitely mysterious. So the writer is dropping little hints, structuring the text to focus on the mystery of the object, but also give us hope that she'll find it. And then we've got the tension here as to Alice's choices, so we've got to think about the life-changing bit as well. She knows she should fetch someone, or at least tell Sheila, her best friend. Alice is not a trained archaeologist, she's a volunteer, and she's quite selfish, isn't she? She says she wants to prove herself, and if she admits she's on something, everyone will want to be involved, and it'll no longer be her discovery. Now with my bird's eye view, because this question is all about getting a sort of bird's eye view down on the topic, if we think about this as a story in which we're meant to see Alice's decision as life-changing, her discovery is life-changing, it really depends on whether you think that's life-changing for the better, because Alice is like the underdog, the unlikely winner, the volunteer, the one who's only there for an extra day, and we want her to win, or is it a bad life-changing? And that would sort of position her as a victim. She's foolish and weak. She decides not to tell anyone. And that's helpful because what we're really discussing there is character and plot. And we're also discussing what the reader expects will happen, which is really effective when discussing the writer's crafting, because writing is a response to reader expectations. Is my cold? Okay. What about this final section? Now this is going to be important to whether her discovery will be life-changing. So up here we've got In the days and weeks to come, Alice will look back at this moment. If you've done the structure question, you'll know that I pick up on the change in tense from present to future. Alice will look back. And we've got these key words: remember, wonder. So she will remember the quality of the light, the dust, wonder at how different things might have been. So you've got the subjunctive mood there. Had she made the choice to go and not to stay, that turning point. The writer is using the plotting there to signify this is a turning point. And again, that links back to whether you think it will be life-changing in a good way or life-changing in a bad way. But it definitely signifies that it'll be life-changing. If you're ever in doubt, always agree with the statement at GCSE. They're trying to help you, not hinder you. Then we've got the final sort of closing image, which is that it's still really, really hot. She drinks the last of her water and just keeps going and going, even though the temperature is rising. And she can only hear the sound of scraping metal on rock. So a little bit unfriendly as a setting. Now, we need to come up with some points. I've actually done mine as a little plan at the bottom here. And I've tried to pick up on things that I think are sort of whole text features, but only look at the second half. So, first one, I've sort of agreed that this will be life-changing, but I'm going to talk about whether we think it will be life-changing in a good way. Underdog, unlikely hero. So that's one point. Next point, well, actually, maybe it'll be life-changing in a bad way. She's going to become a victim. Whatever she finds, maybe it's dangerous. And that might be suggested by the fact that, to be honest, she's quite selfish. And Sheila, her best friend, is being left out. She doesn't seem like a good friend herself. Now, I want to talk about mystery as well. So I said the writer develops mystery with imagery suggesting the artifact placed there by a powerful being of some kind. So develops mystery suggesting imagery. So that's actually picking up on the writer's use of language. But I'm also linking it to genre. I could talk about how maybe it's a sci-fi piece, the suggestion that like a giant hand has left it there. It sounds like some kind of powerful being. Then I'm going to go down to more of a form question. So this is about the narrator. And that's actually, if you want to get good marks, really helpful for this question. So I said the writer colours the omniscient narration. Remember, omniscient means all-knowing, with Alice's emotions, which actually makes us care what she finds and how it will change her life, perhaps suggesting that, you know, she is the underdog, I don't know, but I think it's a bit ambiguous. And then I could say actually the writer cleverly manipulates the tense in that bit at the top of this page. Alice will look back at this moment, because that's a structure feature. So talking about structure there. And all those that like clever hints that something important is going to happen adds to the mystery as well. And then the omniscient narrator even comments that Alice is a rule breaker. That's up here. What would have happened if she had played by the rules? That Alice. So that's like the narrator talking about the character and making comment on what they're doing, which is kind of a feature of some stories, and it's being used quite cleverly here to suggest that it will be life-changing, but maybe not in a good way. And then finally the setting, because this passage covers that final bit of description, is ominous. It's hot, she's thirsty, she seems to be fated to find it, and the setting might be a nice bit to leave it on. Okay, stay tuned for the model answer.